Okay, so this is practice test 2, problems 3, 4, and 5. I already figured out the molecular mass over here just to make the problem go a little quicker, so let's jump right into it. The first one, number 3, it says how many moles are in 31.40 gram sample of copper 1 hypochlorite? So the first thing that you want to do here is write down the given, so it's 31.40 grams. Okay, over 1. All right, now grams are going to go on the bottom so that they cancel out. And we get this number from the molecular mass, so it's 115.00. Now on the top, it's going to be 1 mole because we're converting from grams into moles. And for this first problem, that's pretty much all you have to do. The grams are going to cancel out, and then you're going to have divide the 31 by the 115. That's going to give you 0.2730 moles of CuClO. Now, that has 4 sig figs because what was given had 4 sig figs as well. Okay, the next question is how many formula units or particles are in the above sample? And they can use either of these terms. Formula units or particles, both, they basically mean the same thing. So for this one, we're going to formula units. And if you remember the mole flow chart, it was on one side of it is grams, the other side is moles, and then if you keep going over here, you're going to have formula units. So what I would do is I would start with moles and then go right to formula units, meaning I'm going to start with the answer that we just came up with. Okay, so here's our starting point, and we're going to formula units. So what's going to go on the bottom is going to be moles so that it cancels out, because again, you have moles up here, so you need them down here so that they cancel. And on the top, you can go right from moles to formula units, as we saw below. So I'll write formula units on the top. And now number-wise, it is 1 mole equals 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd formula units. So for this one, now we're pretty much done because moles are going to cancel out on the top and the bottom, leaving us with formula units. And now when we multiply these two numbers together, we will get 1.643 times 10 to the 23rd formula units. And that is of CuClO. Okay, 4 sig figs again, so 4 sig figs over here. All right, now the last one. It says how many atoms of chloride are in the above sample? And so if you remember from mole, you can then go to atoms. And so for this one, you just have to figure out how many atoms are in each formula unit. And luckily in this one, there's just 1 of each. Okay, so let's keep going with this one. I'm going to start with 1.643 times 10 to the 23rd, since that's the closest to atoms. Okay, over 1. And then I'm going to put formula units on the bottom, and then atoms on the top. And because we're just going to one of the atoms, I'm going to write it down, and it is chloride, so Cl. So for every 1 formula unit and 1 formula unit of CuClO, there is only 1 chloride in there. So we're going to just have a 1-to-1 ratio. So your answer is actually going to be the same as the one above, but your unit is going to change because we went from formula units to atoms. So now it's going to be 1.643 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of chloride. Okay, so here is number 6. It says how many grams would be in a sample containing 3.59 times 10 to the 24th formula units of calcium nitrite. So I'm going to start with what's given. All right, calcium nitrite. Nitrite's 2, so calcium nitrite. That should be that. All right, so formula units are on the top, which which means they're going to go on the bottom over here. All right, so let's do that. Okay, and then on the top, remember going from formula units, you can go to moles. So we're going to go to moles because you need to go to moles, then to go to grams. Okay, and the ratio here is, again, 1 mole, and then formula units get 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, so now we have that first part set up. Next thing we need to do is cancel out formula units and formula units. So now we have moles on the top, but we want grams on the top. So mole's going to go on the bottom. And it's going to be 1 mole, because 1 mole equals the molecular mass when we're going to grams. Again, that's in that mole flow chart. And then for this one, you just figure it out. Again, you look at the periodic table, you figure out the numbers for everything, and then you should get 132.09 grams. Now, when you solve this one, you're multiplying across, you're dividing by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd on the bottom, and that should give you 788 grams of calcium nitrite. And there's 3 sig figs, so our answer should have 3 sig figs as well. All right, and that was number 6.